All right, come on in, Riolanda DJ. First in the house today. Buenos dias, Purple
Good
family.
morning. Yes.
Good morning, Michael Dean. How you feeling this day?
I'm good. How are you, D'Angelo?
I am fantastic because there's something in the water. But we're
Ooh.
gonna talk about that later because we are talking about what did Prince do this week? Yeah. So we're gonna have people come on in, but while people are coming on in, what we're gonna talk about today? Computer blue
Again.
again, multiple times, and the Diamonds and Pearls Super Deluxe.
Love
So
that.
that's what we're going to be talking about today. Welcome, AJJ132. What's up? Everybody must, okay, I was about to say, everybody's sleeping in this morning.
It's holiday weekend, so you know.
Oh, I forgot. It's a holiday. Thank you, Michael Dean, for reminding me. So, good afternoon, Purple Saints. Love that. KMS 1984. Christina, welcome. Yes, we got to talk about the Dr. Funk and Morrissey interview a little. We will just a little, but that's going to be towards the end. You got to be patient. Welcome, Nikki. Thank you so much. So happy to be back live. We love it when you're live. Welcome, Christy. Welcome, Dorothy Parker 8. Hey, y'all. And let's see. Hello, Purple Fam. TP. Thank you so much, AJJ. You guys are coming in. What's up, Tom Garneau? Thank you so much for joining us. Shout out from Minneapolis. Thank you for all that you have done. We really appreciate you. All right, Celia is only here for 40 minutes. Good morning, Nick Feldon. April is in the house. Kim, April from Tampa. I was like, where's April? Because you're usually first in the chat, but you are here. Welcome, Man Ray. No curfew this week. That's right, Man Ray. You don't want to. Good thing we don't have a curfew because I got a lot of slides, and I don't know if Michael Dean is going to be able to hang with me because
I'm here. I'm all day.
Yeah. Okay. You in? All right. That's what I'm talking about. We got JD here. Welcome. We got Chris in here. Happy Saturday. Also, happy Catterday to some folks I've heard. What's up, Purple Fam? El Michelle. And we are ready to rock because Dr. Claw is in the house.
Oh, what's up? Reggie B, what's going on?
But Dr. Claw is in Central Time Zone this weekend. Reggie B is here. Peace. We got Sandra here. Good morning, California. You are up way early. We appreciate you. It's all the West Coast listeners. You are troopers. So thank you. Welcome, Brandy T. No, you didn't, Sandra. How's the family? All right, so let's get this. We got Purple Cat confetti. Thank you. You missed our Catterday. So I hope you're having a great day. So let's get.
Where's we didn't have our music.
I didn't do this. I was just gonna do this today, and this. I didn't do
ready to groove into something.
Let me see if I have something. This might be too. No, that's not music. I don't know what I have. Oh, okay. I'll play what we played last week. This is a little cheating, but that's all I got. So somebody might not have been here last week, and we'll play a little Eric Lee.
A little something, yeah.
Well, all right, here we go. So we got a little bit of Eric Lee's in the background. Two Sisters, composed by. Everybody should know what this is composed. Who this is composed by? If you watched last week, but El Michelle, Michael Dean is saying, "I need a new working like a job, T."
Well, we got you. We got you covered.
And we got to say hi to Alice all the way from Australia.
Good morning, Alice.
All right. Okay. So let's get through this housekeeping super fast, but we have to do this for anyone who's joining us for the first time and they go like, what we doing? They don't know. So week 35, 835. What did Prince do this week? This state of Prince Rogers Nelson is not affiliated, associated, or connected with the What Did Prince Do This Week book club series. We're going week to week, not date to date. If you haven't figured that out yet, what I mean by that, eventually you will. And then you can follow the detailed schedule at this bit.ly link or the QR code. And you do not need the expanded edition, but it will help with the schedule. It has the blue type at the top. That's what you're looking for. All right.
Reverse. Oh yeah. We get like a chain and hang the book, you know, where the Duane chain, I guess you call it.
A Duane chain. I love that. Duane, you got to come out with some Duane chains. We got to make that. Yes, holding my air book right now. Good morning. How did that happen? That's a little bit of love sex. It's low in the mix. All right.
Welcome back to WNPG.
And the place to be. That's the extent of my rapping. All right. These will be archived on YouTube at Polished Solid as well as at MDean. Please subscribe, like, and help spread the word with our little book club series. That little thing that could and is doing. Hashtag WDPDTW if you want to share anything with us. And then let's get into week 35. Let's go. So 6 studio visits. This is what I'm used to. And that's just August and that's September because August is leaning to September. So 6 days in the studio. So let's look at the overview. Computer Blue, overdubs on Monday. Computer Blue, overdubs on Tuesday. Computer Blue, overdubs on Wednesday. I Would Die For You, overdubs. Thursday, I Would Die For You. Guitar overdubs. Baby I'm a Star. Guitar overdubs. I Would Die For You. Vocal overdubs and other overdubs. Baby I'm a Star. Vocal overdubs and other overdubs. I can't even say it.
We back to work, y'all. That's what Prince is back to work.
Prince is back to work. Isn't it crazy? Back to work. I hope that's right. But let's look at this quote again for those of you who may not have been with us last week. This was the quote of all quotes from Peggy Mac. This was a great song. It just took forever. I love this part of the song every time it comes on.
Every time I hear Eric Lee's, I can't not think that I could see Prince just standing in the middle of the band and
being the mic.
Got nothing to do with it. It just sounds like.
Yes, this is when it gets funky too. Welcome, Lee Christian. What's up, Ricky? This is when you're.
This is a book club. Where the book club where they be jamming.
Welcome, Natalie. Welcome, Audria. Look at you with your singles box set.
Duane chain. Oh, Lord. That was like a little flex. We got the Moet bottle. You over in VIP. I see you. What your number is, girl?
Oh my God. We don't even want to talk about my number. So Prince Malik is not here, but Prince Malik sent me a DM, and Prince Malik's number is 319. I didn't get a special number. So yeah. We're going to talk about that too, Michael Sanders. But thank you for letting us know. I actually have it in the slide deck. A podcast with Troy Foreman interviewing Matt Thorne about the second edition of Prince, the Man and His Music.
Okay. I got to check that out.
Yeah. Okay, so this is why we don't play music, Michael Dean.
Like, damn, talking.
Yeah.
All right.
This is really good. It's really good. Got the rocking bass. Okay. 10 days and counting for Computer Blue. Prince has been working on Computer Blue for 10 days in the studio. Oh my God. So, yes, Michael, actually, Matt Thorne joined us for the 1 + 1 + 1 is 3 symposium. He actually had a presentation about the Rainbow Children, and we're going to talk about the 1 + 1 + 1 is a symposium today, but I actually didn't add a link to that particular talk, so I will do so. And we'll try to get Matt on again. So a listening session book club. Exactly, Brandy. I appreciate you. That's how Michael Dean likes it. I like to keep Michael happy.
How we roll now.
That's how we roll. All right, so let's get into it so we can talk about all the other stuff you want to talk about. But we are here for What Did Prince Do This Week? And we're doing a Duane chain. So we got to talk about this book before we get into anything else. So Monday, August 29th, 1983. Again, overdubs on Computer Blue for 12 hours. Remember last week we talked about overdubs for like 14 something hours. So another session of 12-hour overdubs. Welcome, Laura. Thank you so much. Happy weekend to you.
Oh, Laura.
All right. So we're going to get our reading on. Let's see. We're going to go to page. Everybody get out your books, children. Let me see if I can find my mouse. So we're going to go to page 145. Actually, let's just flip it to 146. And
get your reading on.
Michael Dean, do you want to get us started at 146?
Yes, with the quote?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. When you sit down to write something, there should be no guidelines. The main idea is not supposed to be how many different ways can we sell it. That's so far away from the true spirit of what music is. Music starts free with a spark of inspiration. It's Prince. Today's session was delayed from 3 p.m. until 4:30 p.m. when Prince. Sorry?
5:30 p.m.
Oh, I'm sorry, 5:30. When Prince arrived back in Los Angeles after his trip to Minneapolis. After 8.5 hours of additional overdubs and mixing, the session ended the following morning. An expensive meal from Gourmet Ferrier Saskatchewan or something like that was brought in. So it is likely that various people connected to the film record were in attendance, possibly to listen to the most recent versions of the songs for the soundtrack and to discuss plans for the film. As the studio got busier, Peggy McCreary, who had been recording with Prince since 1981, missed the days when it was just the two of them in the studio. He didn't have to be anybody with me. We didn't talk a lot, but sometimes he'd talk about his past and about his family, which wasn't a happy subject for him. He wasn't a talker, but he probably talked to me more than he did to most people. If you ask him questions, he'd talk. Being with someone for over 5 years, day and night, you'd find out little tidbits, little windows into who they were. And also his manager told me some stuff which shed some light into who he was, about how he grew up and didn't have a place to live and how by the time he was 12, he was out on the street, and how he lived in Andre Simone's basement. And his dad would come, I'm sorry, and his dad would come by every week or so and bring him cake. And that was the kind of food that he ate. It was kind of rough. He was pretty much abandoned until he made it. And then, of course, everyone showed back up. Albert Magnoli submitted the first draft of his script today for the first time. It was officially listed as Purple Rain.
All right.
Man.
So there's a lot we could talk about that I don't want to go into because I don't want to make any speculations. But that quote actually is from Peggy McCreary, Love Sexy. So one, I know that Prince loved desserts. So it's really interesting that as a kid, maybe it started as a kid with his dad bringing him cake. So we're going to.
Was this before or after the lemon cake?
I don't know, Michael Dean. All right. Yes, I agree, Maria. Peggy Mac should write a book. Indeed. All right. So, and if you haven't seen her on the Sunset Sound YouTube channel, you should. They do a really amazing interview with her there. All right. So Tuesday, August 30th, 1983, more overdubs, almost 10 hours. Again, just Computer Blue. And I'm going to read this with the quickness, but we're going to be on page 147 for this, super fast. And a lot of Prince songs, the first time you hear them, you go, what the heck did I just hear? Prince's songs are more complex than the average pop songs. And that's Dr. Fink. I love that quote. Prince's songs were more complex than the average pop songs. From 3:30 p.m. until midnight, Prince continued to add overdubs to Computer Blue. At the end of the session, a quick mix was completed and 5 cassette copies were created. For Prince to have generated so many cassettes likely means that they were passed to execs at the record company and to those involved with creating and possibly financing the movie. That makes a lot of sense.
You know, one of the things I was wondering about him working on this song so long, I wonder also, was it just a part of like, there's these people now that I don't know if he has to impress or he just really wants to make sure that the music is right. And I'm giving these copies to financiers or whoever it is. And I wonder if it almost kind of goes back to sort of the first album recording is very meticulous and just kept over, let me get it right. And I wonder if he just at this part, this was kind of really the start of this project. And it's like, I got to get this song perfect, and I want to make sure that when I give these copies away that it's whatever it's supposed to do. I wonder if some of that plays into why he's on this song so long. But
I understand where you're coming from, and I would probably agree with you, but he didn't do it with all the songs to this extent.
Right. What I'm saying, I wonder if this was the first time they're meeting kind of, okay, this is what the movies were planning out what it is. And it sounds like they're like, he just gave in the script for the first time. They changed the title and maybe they're like really going over like, okay, this is one of the first songs we're going to talk about that you're currently working on. So maybe by the time it starts to get into the other parts of the project, he might have like, okay, let me slow. I don't have to be so, but again, I'm just speculating. Maybe that has nothing to do with it.
So actually, this is a really interesting comment from Ricky. Maybe he was trying to impress his dad because, he did incorporate Father's song into it. Right. And I think this is might be a little bit spot on, Ricky. And then, I can totally see it. And also, I feel like by this point, I don't know why, I think, again, this is conjecture on my part. So I don't know what Prince was thinking. And I'm not going to pretend like I do because I don't. But I could speculate that this was like his magnus opus, like he's seeing Purple Rain as like his mountaintop moment. Like he wants to reach, level up, in video game terms. And like he really wanted to kind of showcase but this is the crown jewel, Computer Blue. That's my personal opinion. So, yeah. All right. So we're gonna move on to Wednesday. And on Wednesday, I think I got everything right. Yep. Let's look at the right here. So it's just 3 hours this time for some Computer Blue overdubs and I Would Die for You overdubs. And let's see. This is short. Let's read it, Michael Dean. You do 147, starting with the quote.
All right. This is Prince. Even if the music was coming through me, I was still listening to it as an admirer of the sound. So whatever I heard, be it a lyric or a melody line or a beat or whatever, sometimes just the bass line, I paid attention to it and I would let that start the song first. Once you get that main thing down, then that's the leader and that's going to tell you what the next instrument is supposed to be. I love the start time of the session was moved from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., and it began with a 3 hour meeting. This was probably another gathering executives involved in the upcoming film, which may have turned into a chance to discuss the recently delivered script and reveal all the songs that Prince had been recording. Once the meeting ended, Prince spent 3 hours adding various overdubs to I Would Die for You. At the end of the session, one cassette was created for Prince to review. When August ended, Computer Blue was finally complete. Prince could continue working on other tracks, including what many believe are some of the most beautiful songs on the Purple Rain album. The unfortunate side effect of squeezing so many strong songs onto the soundtrack was that Computer Blue would be edited several times, losing all the incredible layers that were recorded over the last 2 weeks.
So an interesting line in what you just read, in terms of what Duane wrote, is Prince could continue working on other tracks, including what many believe are some of the most beautiful songs on the Purple Rain album. So actually reading this in context of your comment before, Michael, maybe he didn't get the reception from the execs to Computer Blue that he was hoping for. Because like for me, out of all the songs on the Purple Rain album, Computer Blue is the most Prince. Remember I said it was like Prince, like, and I feel like the other ones are more pop. Like Beautiful Ones is definitely pop. Purple Rain is dead pop. So I don't know. I love Computer Blue.
Oh yeah, it was bad. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Like I said a couple weeks ago, it was the original Crystal Ball. Like it was.
Yeah, it was the original Crystal Ball. It was epic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a journey. It was cinematic. Yeah, Blade Brown, love your comment. The engineers had to have been sick of Computer Blue by this point. Michelle saying Computer Blue is still good, stripped down. And I love this. Yes, we always want to impress our dad. And sprawling.
I would, I don't, me personally, and I'm just trying to think back to that time. I would have never had seen any of these songs, maybe except for Take Me With You as pop songs personally, like, or maybe Purple Rain. I don't know if I would call that pop, but to me, these songs are hardcore Prince, like almost again, you have to kind of listen to them a few times to like really grasp what they're doing. Maybe When Doves Cry is a straight away like, oh, that's the joint, but Computer Blue is super complex to me. Like that's a heavy sort of the version that he's got here. That's not an easy thing to digest in 1983. There's nothing like that other than listening to 1999 album or something. So I wonder if these songs was more of a concerted effort to like maybe that song's a little too much or something. Like that's a deep dive song. I don't know. I certainly wouldn't call it pop. Like there's nothing in pop. That's like some deep.
I hear you. So, and again, I want to respond to Sakia. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Please forgive me. But Princess Pop too. I know Princess Pop, but um, I'm a little biased, and I actually have opinions, meaning like I'm an opinionated Prince fan. And I came in on Dirty Mind and then Controversy. And for me, all of that was sort of like experimental Prince. I do what I want Prince, kind of, like Freedom Prince. And I feel like, and I'm not saying this today, I'm saying this when I was a 13-year-old. When I was a 13-year-old, I was like, oh my God, he's trying to go for the pop audience. Are we going to lose experimental Prince? And this isn't even me today. I'm talking about back when I was a freaking teenager. I was afraid. I was afraid that we're going to lose Prince to the masses. We weren't going to get, sister and head anymore. Even though it wasn't even for me about sexuality, it was more that this guy can do whatever he wants to do. Going to say whatever he wants to do. He's going to dress like he wants to. He's not going to succumb to groupthink. He's not going to do the norm. And when Purple Rain came out, I actually got scared. And I was like, and it wasn't until Around the World in the Day came out that I was like, oh my God, thank God. I was like, thank God. And I was like, yes, this is my Prince. He does whatever he wants. He's gonna do like 180. So that's me. Welcome, Zaire. Thanks for being here. But let's see. Zaire said, I agree with Michael. Prince shifted the pop landscape, so his work's pop quality is still his brand of pop, which is not just pop. When Cry opening with a guitar solo and no bass line. Exactly.
Yeah. Let me just shout him real quick. I appreciate it. Thank you, the Adult Symphony channel. Appreciate you, man.
And then Zaire says, Beautiful Ones is a unique slow jam. Definitely not pop.
Right.
I feel it as pop for me, Zaire. And
I think it is adopted by pop, but in the same way, I don't think hip hop rap was pop, but it becomes pop because it only becomes popular. But I don't think it changes what it is to be like a pop song per se. But so I can definitely see what he says. Yeah, it is a slow.
No, most def. Give me 1 second. I want to do something. If I can do it with the quickness, we will see if I can. Okay. All right. So what we're gonna do now, Bobby, is we go. Thank you for getting that reference.
Hilarious.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to go all the way back to page 130 and 131 because that particular day we had a very long day and we weren't even able to read this. And I really want to read this. I think it's important because Duane actually talks about Vanity at the beginning of the next chapter or month, which is September. So I kind of want to make sure we have this. So for the upcoming Purple Rain Symposium, which is not called Purple Rain Symposium, it's going to be called the Erotic City 40 Symposium because we're talking about not just Purple Rain, but also Ice Cream Castle, Glamorous Life, as well as Brenda Six. And each one of the 4U crew gets to select which one we're going to talk about. And so Miles actually had the choice this year, and Miles has selected the Glamorous Life for the 4U crew to talk about as the roundtable. And I was relieved because I didn't want to talk about Purple Rain because one, me and Michael, we have been talking about Purple Rain for months. But then also I knew we were going to get into it like we are getting into it now, Zaire. So this is such a funny comment. D'Angela's lucky we are not focusing on Purple Rain for the symposium because we would be arguing. Indeed. And that's okay because we do it out of love. All right. Lee Christian says Prince was savvy enough to know what kept the wolf at the door. He had one of those songs on every album and even asked one once, have you ever tried to write a hit? Very cool. And thank you so much. That's so very kind, Audrey. I can't wait for the For You crew. You hear that, Zaire? So you better get ready. So I'm assuming since Miles selected glamorous life that actually Miles likes the glamorous life, but I don't know. Miles is so contrary. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. We will find out. So let's see. Celia's saying either Black Beat, Rock and Soul. I used to love Rock and Soul, or another Black teen magazine criticized Purple Rain as an attempt to clean up his dirty past to appeal to a wider pop audience. Yet Prince was able to be pop and himself. I like how Celie says this, that Prince was able to be pop and himself. And that's pretty much what you were saying, Michael. You guys are just like, what's that word? You're grinding me down. Like I'm seeing your point of view.
That's the only way you can see our point of view. You're just so annoyed by hearing it. Just, wow, that's
yeah. Let's see. And then this says, Jester says Purple Rain is a serious market hit. Yes, it's definitely worthy of the endless talks.
Yeah.
School us, Just Rules. You school us. I hear you. And let's see what Maria is saying. Prince was able to be both pop and cult underground at the same time. I'll never know how he pulled that off. That is an amazing comment, Maria. I love you for that. And then Dr. Claus says, ironically, as Purple Rain was targeted by Tipper, Gore, and them. And in a follow-up to Celie's comment. And then haha, cleaning up his dirty past, Darling Nikki, which costs the parental advisory sticker. Yes, I love Darling Nikki, Michelle. That's one of my favorite songs off of the album. And let's see, welcome Mila. That makes me think of the comment Michael Bland made on Michael Dean's show that Prince was the most niche pop star ever. Niche. I don't know how to say it. Purple Rain was Prince's Thriller, no denying that. And now it was Prince's Purple Rain. Okay. Can you do you know what Reggie B means by this? Because sometimes I'm slow.
Maybe I wonder if he's just commenting on was this Prince's Thriller? He's saying no, this is Prince's.
Oh, that makes sense. Thank you. All right, so let's see. I have a love-hate relationship with Purple Rain era, the era alone, not the music though. Wow. That's an interesting comment.
Why?
Let's see. Purple Rain was a soundtrack, and Prince knew that. I believe he approached it that way, which is why it doesn't sound like anything he has recorded up to that point. That's a good point, KMS. I like that comment. Thank you for that. All right, so we're going to switch and read a little bit about Vanity. So we're going to go back in our pages to pages 130 to 132. Yeah, we are going to read this because I love me some Vanity, so you're going to have to bear with me, but I'll try to make it quick. So during this period, Vanity wasn't happy. With her place in the Prince camp, the summer had been spent recording new music and in rehearsals preparing for the upcoming movie. But her romance with Prince had soured, and she didn't feel she was being compensated properly for all her work. Her name didn't appear on the guest list for the August 3rd benefit show. Let me reread that. Her name did not appear on the guest list for the August 3rd benefit show, although she was reportedly in attendance. I knew I had read that somewhere, that she was in attendance at the August 3rd show. And there is no documentation of any additional tracks recorded with her in August. This is Stephen Magnoli recalls, Vanity was in the development when I was there in August. She was going to be in the movie and was going to be in Vanity 6. In the first 2 weeks I was there in August, there was tension in real life between Vanity and Prince. She was a very independent woman in an extremely male-oriented world called Minneapolis. And she was a tough girl, and they were having their issues. I was writing it with her in mind. And this is Albert Magnoli. I said Stephen, sorry. Albert Magnoli. And then she came to me one day and said, I have a dilemma. Okay, Vanity, what's the dilemma? And she said, Martin Scorsese. I want to say that one more time. Martin Scorsese talked to my agent and he wants me to play Mary Magdalena in his movie. Now, for those of you who don't know, are not up on your films, Marty Scorsese is one of the, I call him Marty. Some people call him Marty. Because I know him. I just kidding. I don't know him, but
I was about to say.
he is one of the best American directors who has ever lived. And actually, NYU has just dedicated a building to him in his name. So yeah, Scorsese is a big deal. I just want, in case you don't know, Scorsese is a big deal. Calling Vanity's agent. Let's just like put some respect on Vanity's name sometime. All right. Yeah. So she says to me, "What should I do?" And I said, "This is my first picture. It's a musical. Martin Scorsese. Okay, I don't want to steer you wrong here, but gee whiz, that's a great opportunity. I can't be dishonest." I said, "This is Magnolia talking. This is going to be a hard one. What do you want to do?" And she said, "I don't know, but I'm leaning towards doing Mary Magdalena." And within 48 hours, she was out.
I can't be mad about that. Like, who knew what Purple Rain was going to become? Like, and here you got a certified classic director. Somebody said how he knew of her. That is interesting. Like the fact that already at that point in her career, she's getting the attention of somebody like that is pretty remarkable.
So, I mean, for those of you who don't know, Vanity actually she had already been in films. Now, they weren't blockbuster films, but they were films nevertheless. And I want to say,
what's the one with the monkey?
Tanya's Island. It's like more of a gorilla, but Tanya's Island is the one.
I need that in 4K. Where is that? I need a Snyder cut. Ace.
Oh my God. But she was also on Terror Train. So when she was in Tanya's Island as well as Terror Train, she was not billed obviously as Vanity because Prince gave her that name, but she wasn't even billed as Denise Matthews. She was actually billed as D.D. Winters. That was her stage name at the time. So Vanity had two films that came out in 1980. One was Tanya's Island, the one that Michael's talking about. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it.
At least see the trailer.
At least see the trailer. And then there was Terror Train, which actually starred Jamie Lee Curtis. So everyone should know about, it is it's a very minor role. It's not like a starring role by any point. But one of the things that I love about Tanya's Island, since I can't believe we're talking about, I love Tanya's Island because, let me tell you why. I love it because she is the lead. She is the lead, and she's almost in every single Michael.
Well, I mean, some people may not know. What is the premise of this movie? Because you love it.
We're not going to talk about that, Michael.
Oh, wow. That's different. But I love it. That's a wild movie. Like when you see what it is, you're going to be like, stop. Just stop.
Now, I'm not saying it's Oscar-worthy performances.
I don't even know if Tubi would show this one. Like, they're like, no, we gotta stand this guy. Oh
my God. All right. Okay. Let me calm down. Michael D's trying to give me a heart attack. All right. So let me go. Okay. I'm going to start back reading right now. I'm going to go back to page 131. So after a failed negotiation with Princess Management for more money, she chose to accept the role in Scorsese's The Last Temptation of Christ. Purple Rain was Prince's dream, Vanity explained at the time. He was bringing in everybody for very little money. You've got to pay people. You've got to be fair. In 2013, she expanded on her reasons. Prince, this is really important, so listen to this. Prince wanted to pay me $5,000 for the entire film. That's ridiculous. Yeah, $5,000. I'm out of here. And if you go on and read, it says that Vanity bounced back and was hired to act in The Last Dragon for a reported, wait for it, $300,000. Wow. So $5,000 versus $300,000.
Yeah, she came up.
Yeah. And so, okay. And so this is Brenda speaking, Brenda Bennett. Vanity wanted more money. Vanity wanted much more money to do Purple Rain. The script was basically finalized, and unbeknownst to us, she had gotten an agent and an accounting firm. Her lawyers got her out of it because she wanted out. She wanted in on her terms, but Prince never called her back after she left. So,
Somebody said in the comments, I know Alexander O'Neill somewhere saying,
yes. According to Duane's book, it says $300,000. And Duane is pretty meticulous on his research, so I'm sure that's not incorrect. And this is a good point, Maria. Was it Prince or was it Warner Brothers that wanted to pay her? Now, based on everything that I've read about this, especially in relation to the time and everything, and I'm not taking up for Prince because I don't know what was going on. This is just me based on what I've read other writers have written in research. It seems like Prince wasn't really concerned about finances at this particular time, and he had the management take care of that. And I read that like in Maite's book. I read it in
didn't Sheila say something like she ended up owing on the tour?
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she talks about that in her book. And I really think that Prince was kind of immersed in the music, and I don't again, I don't know what was going on, but yeah.
Somebody was getting paid, it just wasn't them.
Yeah, exactly. So, which is unfortunate, right? So, unfortunately for Vanity, the Scorsese project was delayed, and scheduling conflicts kept her out of that movie as well. So, even though she left to do that film, she didn't get the opportunity to do it, which I think is really sad. I wish it could have happened, but there were delays and scheduling conflicts. Maybe she was working on The Last Dragon. I don't know. Vanity bounced back and was hired to act in The Last Dragon. Most people would think that is why I left, but that's not why I went solo. This is Vanity speaking. Prince discovered me. He discovered all of us. He's a great person, a brilliant kid, but I had planned to go solo all along, she explained in 1984. If you're a very independent person like I am, you don't base your career on what happens in your relationship with a man. I'm a career-oriented person, and I go with my career. As far as I'm concerned, your career is there for life. A man sometimes isn't. You don't know how long love is going to last. Other women might feel differently, and sure, I'd love to have babies and all that stuff one day, but right now, my career is the most important thing in my life. That was Vanity. And one thing I love about Duane's books is with all the quotes, he has citations for them, and you can go back and read the original interview of that for more context. With Vanity gone, there was a new role to fill in the movie in Vanity 6 and to some extent in Prince's heart. This is Peggy McCreary speaking. I think that Prince and Vanity were a lot alike. She was a female Prince. I think he was hurt when they broke up. And this is Susan Rogers. In his personal life, I think Prince was disappointed that Vanity had left. Things weren't going along as well as he would have liked it, but he was beginning to realize that people are the tools he needed to get his work done. He was very, very happy with Wendy Melvoin, delighted to get Wendy in the band. Anyway, he had the band he wanted. He was beginning to get the equipment that he wanted, and he could record whatever he wanted to. And this is Bob Cavallo speaking. In our world, I love this quote from Bob Cavallo. In our world, Vanity was famous, and we thought it was like a big common grab on the audience to want to see the movie, to see Vanity and Prince in love or fighting. So yes, I thought it was a big loss. Now, I want to underscore this with Prince's first Rolling Stone cover was with who?
Vanity.
Vanity. It wasn't a solo Prince cover. It could have been a solo Prince cover. The management could have said, get her out of here. This is your cover, Prince. But Vanity was on the cover with Prince. Just remember that. With Vanity gone, the hunt for replacement was on. Until then, Prince focused on his music. So that is back in the day. And then now we need to move. Let's see.
I wonder, just thinking about all of this, with Vanity, and salute to her for, saying, like, knowing her worth and what she feels she was worth doing, and all of that. Uh, I wonder if Prince too is like, you know what? As much as I'm sure he wanted to keep her on there, I also admire that he was like, the show's gonna go on. Like, well, we're just gonna get somebody else. There's a line that they say in this period, I'm the only star in this town. I
Mhm.
could see that attitude being like, oh well, they coming to see me. Like, I'm the real draw. We can go get another girl, somebody else. Uh, and I also wonder, what is the management and all the other people play into this, in terms of like how the band or the members of this group interface with Prince and cannot interface with him any longer, and have to go through these other people to like ask for their money or see what's going on. And I wonder how much, like you said, how much Prince was really like discussing actual dollar amounts with, a Morris or a Vanity, and just like, oh, they'll take care of it. Go talk to the da 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 da. Let's get back to rehearsing, or let's work on this music. And him being at a point, I think, of his career where he's probably starting to get more isolated from the other members of the posse, the group, and then these, other folks who come in and was like, let's keep them separated. Oh, she's not gonna get the money she wants. Okay, well, he don't want to budge. Let's keep it moving. But I wonder just how much all of that plays into these decisions of Vanity. Or was she able to communicate with Prince? Was he communicative with her enough? And then of course it's also messy too to be in a relationship with a person like that in those circumstances. It's not so it's a messy situation. Well, anyway.
Yeah, it's a really messy situation. And I mean, that's definitely one possibility of, like, I'm the only star in this, kind of keep it moving kind of mentality. But my take on it is that, again, through what I've read, because I didn't know Prince personally, he was not one to live in the past. I mean, he burned down houses, multiple houses, to
Right.
be. And so I think one, he probably was like, okay, let's keep moving forward. But two, he was so immersed in the music that I could see where, I'm guilty of this. Like, sometimes when things are too much for me to handle, I just dive into work. I just work. I become a workaholic, and, to not deal with any issues that might be happening. So again, that could be a possibility.
I think too, playing into what Peggy was saying, was mentioned earlier about his childhood and the things he went to, sort of playing into probably his mindset, or why he was doing things a certain way, being a kid that was put out the house, or whatever the circumstances why he not living in his home with his parents. That's a traumatizing thing, right? That's gonna make you think a certain way if you feel like, I can't even go home to my parents, my mama. You, a little black boy, can't go home to his mom. He going to somebody else's house. So I can only imagine these things that will frame into your mind of how you like, okay, ain't nobody ever gonna leave me again where it's gonna hurt me. I'm gonna be in control. You feel what I'm saying? So I can understand why he's moving like that. And it's a young Prince as well, very young. How we acted when we was young. So
And that's not too far from his teenage years. And it takes a long time to process a lot of childhood trauma and drama and all that, decades. So that's a really good point. And I also like Zaire's point, that he probably used to break up to fuel his art. Prince is one of the masters of the breakup song. And love this quote from Myron. I also wish we had both movies, Vanity and Apollonia. Like, one of the things, like, I don't know, one of my favorite films of all time is Michael Mann's Heat. And I always wish they could have filmed it twice with De Niro and why am I blanking?
Pacino.
Pacino, if they could flip their roles, like film it with film it with I always wanted to see this. I was like, Michael Mann, make another movie and have them flip the role.
Excuse what I'm about to say, but California. I just can't see De Niro.
But see, the thing is, I think that De Niro would have delivered those lines differently.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And then it would have been like a different film. So, okay, we won't go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, we're going down.
I know some.
You know what? To go back to, you said the Vanity and Apollonia movie. Apollonia would have been in Purple Rain. The Vanity one would have been called Erotic City.
Or Electric Intercourse.
Or Electric Intercourse. But yeah, that would.
Yeah.
There'd been a smarter R version.
So this is an interesting quote from TP. I think abandonment was a prevailing theme in Prince's life. He probably kept people at a distance because of it. And Lee Christian says the final quote of the Omnibus documentary from Prince is, "What if everybody left?" It says it all. And to be honest, this reminds me of a quote that Jill said about, I think it was during the DM40 GB30, that Prince really wanted to hold on to her and to Jerome because they were sort of the last of the Mohicans, at a certain point. And yeah. And then let's see what Celi's talking about. It's difficult to mix love and business, which is why my wife and I rarely work the same projects. We're alphas and want what we want. We can supplement each other, but it's clear whose project it is. This is a really good point, Celi, because it's obvious that Vanity was not submissive, that she was also an alpha. So thank you so much for that perspective. And interesting. I love that someone has caught the bait. Pacino would have been the better bad guy. I'm kind of with you. It was a little weird for me seeing De Niro in that role. What about you, Michael? I'm sorry, everybody else.
You mean Pacino in that role or De Niro?
No, meaning so Pacino was the cop and De Niro is the bad guy, but King of Delphus says that Pacino would have been the better bad guy. And I kind of agree.
I don't know. It's hard for me to see. I mean, obviously he could act. I'll think of like Scarface or something. It'd have been too much, but they're both master act. That's one of my favorite movies. So yeah.
Oh yeah, that's one of your. So you understand?
Oh, I have it. The 4K sitting in there. Did you know that there is a book that came out last year that is sort of after? It's written by Michael Mann.
No. All right.
Takes place after the. I heard it's not necessarily that good, but if you're interested.
Okay. So an actual fictional book.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's good to know. All right. So Crates of Junior, if my vision's getting really bad. I can't imagine the lovely D'Angelo sitting down and watching Heat. Too much violence and buck shots going on. Okay. I don't know if you guys remember the very first episode when I talk about my Uncle Charles. I think Michael will remember my Uncle Charles. So my Uncle Charles and I, when I was in my single digits, used to watch Kung Fu Gold every Saturday, which is just like a lot of Shaw Brothers movies. So like a flying guillotine with heads coming off, like blood spurting out. So that's what I grew up on because of my uncle, because I was raised by like my uncles and my aunt, and I was raised in a village. And I got a love of film from my Uncle Charles, in addition to a love of music from both my uncles and my aunt. And so I'm used to a lot of violence in films because that's what I was watching at probably since I could start watching, because my uncle was one of my babysitters. So so I'm a huge fan of John Woo, and like films like Hard Boiled. And don't get me started on like my whole like Swords Play kind of like, I love action films. Chow Yun-fat is one of my favorite actors. So if you, but we won't go down that rabbit hole because we won't get out of it. I love the genre of Kung Fu films, and then how it like translated into the action films of John Woo and everything in between. So that's how I got into a lot of violent films. So films like Oliver Stone's Natural Born Killers, and I used to be, I don't watch them now, but for a very long time, I used to watch all those kind of films because like with Kung Fu films, it's all about posses. I shouldn't say this out loud, but I'm going to do so anyway. This is just to let you know, when I was a teen, I didn't want to do this for real, but I guess my dream, my fantasy dream was to become an assassin. Like, that's how much I love the genre. I love the genre, you know, because
Oh,
with the kung fu flicks, they would have different clans, and the clans would, you know, like they would be fighting one another, and they had to sneak in. You had to be like a ninja, and you know, and so yeah.
you
Okay.
wanted to be an assassin.
Yeah. Yes. I
Killing
did.
people.
I mean, like as like as a
Oh,
you know, some little kids wanted to
Lord.
be firefighters. I wanted to be.
This why we gotta watch what our kids be watching. You can imagine a little young black girl, from a good family, good black folk, talking about she want to be somebody's assassin.
It's true. It's
Big
true.
mama at.
It was so cool. I mean, like all the like. So one of my favorite. Okay, I'm gonna stop after this. One of my favorite films was the Ten Tigers of Kwang Tung. And if you guys know about those films and the Shaw Brothers and all that, you know, and that crew, they would be in different films together, and they almost always had different powers. You know, like one person had like the monkey paw or whatever. I can't remember.
Mm.
And I just love that they would have these specific skills that they could use.
You know, you're not gonna. This is a this is a moment here. Somebody take that part where she said, "I want to clip that. I want to be an assassin." You wanna say anything?
It's true. I loved it. Okay, let's see what else is talked about because I'm being too personal. So let's see. Very good point about the movie Heat, D'Angelo. Have the alternate ending as a deleted scene. I've heard about the alternate ending.
I remember
Um,
what it was.
let's
If you
see.
haven't seen that movie in a while, watch it, man. It's like, I miss movies that were just like a movie. Like, I don't even know if they would make that movie today. It would probably be a TV series today. They wouldn't even make it a movie. That's awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
We went down the hole.
Yes, we have. I love this comment from Kim though. Shaw Brothers Saturdays after Soul Train. That was correct.
Mm,
That was correct. It started off with Soul Train on Saturday, and I grew up in Alabama, so then it was Kung Fu Gold. That was
Kung Fu
absolutely correct.
Theater.
Yes. Let's see. And Five Deadly Venoms. Yes.
I will say, if you are a fan of Bruce Lee, or even if you're not, but they just put his movies out on 4K recently. Like, there's a big giant box set of all of them, but they put a Enter the Dragon, just a single release on 4K. Fascinating quality. Like, looks like it was made today.
Wow. Well, see, since we're talking about this, so the Shaw Brothers films have also been re-released in 4K, and there's 2 box sets, and I got both box sets, and they look pristine.
Oh, snap.
Yes, they
Let's
look
start another podcast.
pristine.
Nice.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, growing up watching those prints, you know, especially in Alabama, the prints were crappy, you know, like, they just didn't look good. So watching these films in 4K is like watching them for the first time. It's really crazy, like, how pristine it is. And then just to answer, I am not a gamer. It's just I love kung fu films, again, because of my Uncle Charles. That's what's going on. Yes, love that, D'Angelo Bourne. Thank you for that. Yeah, I would love to be, D'Angelo Bourne, that when I was little. Yes, Michael. There are no movies better than the Shaw Brothers collection. Yes, Michael. I have both Shaw's volumes 1 and 2 on Blu-ray. You know it. So they are amazing.
Mm.
Okay. All right. I love this. Thank you so much. Okay. This is like the worst rabbit hole. Oh, thank you, Michael. Yes, let's talk about them. Five Deadly Venoms, The Crippled Avengers, The Kid with the Golden Arm. They're all great Shaw Brothers movies. If you have to start with one, though, I would definitely start off with the Five Deadly Venoms. That is the one. It really is. So let's see.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Right?
things we learn on. Oh, you're after my heart. Were we in the same room? Eggo waffles. So
Listen, I had
good.
that today. Okay.
Have you? Did you really?
Yeah. Well, I got little kids in here, so I need something to eat. Okay, what do we got? Oh, we got the Eggo waffles with the chocolate chip. Oh, okay, let me go and eat this real quick for
Yes.
my podcast.
I'm so sorry for this, but I got to do this
Yeah,
like side.
we going.
Yeah, okay. So Just Rules is saying I actually prefer the Shaw Brothers films with the original language with subtitles, meaning
Mm.
and I actually prefer that too. And what's really great about the box set is you can choose to have the subtitles on, hear it in Mandarin or hear it in Cantonese. I personally like listening to the Cantonese ones, and only if they don't have Cantonese or Mandarin will I listen to the English overdubs. Obviously, when I was growing up, I heard the English overdubs. I always hated that. So it's so great to hear them in the original language. And then Five Fingers of Death is my number two, next to Enter the Dragon. Enter the Dragon is the one. And let's see. All right. Kim is giving us a time check, but we don't care about time because we're just going all in about River School of Rock breaks and then going to the dollar movies to see Kung Fu movies and Lego My Ego for those of, and I love your name, Micah Man. That's really great.
Here we go. Somebody asked about anime. Don't get us. Don't
I
get us.
don't. I actually don't. I don't watch anime. I know that I think Michael does, but
I'm old school. I'm old school anime. I'm not even go down that rabbit hole,
okay.
but
All right.
definitely like.
So we're gonna go back to our reading, Michael Dean. We are going to go back to page 149 because we have the time check from Kim that it is 1 p.m. Eastern. So that means we want to get back to our reading. Thank you,
Yeah, I
Kim.
gotta get a belt cracking sound effect every time Kim does that.
Yeah, Kim is our usher. She's like making sure we like, yes. All right. September 1983, 149. Read till you can't read no more.
I'm sorry, what page again?
149.
Let me go back. All right. September 1983. September found the movie in a slight state of chaos. Vanity's abrupt exit had compounded the work that needed to be done to prepare for the movie. Now that the script was finished, one of Albert Magnolia's major tasks was casting the female lead role. As he explains, Vanity's presence is so freaking strong. She can make the Red Sea part. She was a part of nature. She was a force of nature. Magnolia recalled one encounter with her at First Avenue in mid August after she had left the project. I was sitting up there in the mezzanine area and I feel this and quickening in there. Seconds later, someone comes up to me and says, Vanity just came in. I'm not exaggerating. She has this thing and she comes in with painted on clothing, second skin, leather, latex. I don't know what it is, but she looks fantastic. And what surprised me is the attitude. She's rough.
She's
So I'm tough, excuse me. Rough. So tough. So looking for that. I couldn't. So looking for that, I couldn't find it. Vanity's replacement would have to fill her role in the movie as well as the lead position in Vanity 6. Until then, both the film and the group were in flux. The Time continued to have problems as well. Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, and Monty Moore had been replaced, and the new band was currently rehearsing for the movie and for a potential test show in October. Unfortunately, Morris Day was growing more frustrated at Prince's control over what Day considered his band. Once a powerful performing machine, the band was now struggling just to stay together, and there was resentment overflowing from within the group. What was going on is what was going on is like the way Vanity had one foot out the door, the Time had one foot out the door during the making of the of Purple Rain. So there was a rivalry, according to Magnolia. The competition between the bands was very real when I got there.
Let's stop there. So we're not going to read the rest of the chapter. Obviously, everyone should have the book. If you don't have the book, you should get the book. So there's a lot more about the time. There are quotes from Jesse Johnson, Mark Cardenas, who had replaced Jimmy Jam, Pepe Willie, stuff about Morris. So there's a lot left in this chapter, but we have so much to cover today and so much more to read. So we're going to keep it moving. And also, we don't want our Ursher to give us another time check. All right. So with Thursday, September 1st, we're switched from Computer Blue, and now we're doing some guitar overdubs for I Would Die For You and Baby I'm a Star. So we're going to go to page 151, and I'll read this one. So this is Prince, page 151, everybody. Turn your pages to 151. And this is Prince. I don't feel sexy when I play guitar. I feel angry. Now I need to hold on, give me 1 second. I want to know where this is coming from. So this is September. Give me 1 second. September, and this is number 7.
Yeah, Monty.
Oh, this is from that Sky magazine, actually, that I want to say that Edgar posted this week. It's an article called Sex on a Stick in Sky magazine, July 1990, page 12. And it's Simon Witter and the New Power Generation fan club. Okay. So these two tracks were connected when they were originally taped together during the August 3rd benefit show, I Would Die For You and Baby I'm a Star. Prince decided he liked how they functioned together, so he maintained their order and flow for the Purple Rain movie and soundtrack album. Because of the way the concert was recorded, the tracks weren't completely clean. The drum machine was isolated, but the cymbals and some other instruments would occasionally leak on the open mics, and additional work on all the tracks was necessary. Everything was sweetened, explained Susan Rogers. No major reconstructions, just shortening because he played them longer on stage and re-singing the lead vocals to get that leakage off. The process of sweetening means that mistakes made during the performance were either cleaned up by re-recording that section or sometimes covered up in the mix by adjusting the audio levels or accentuating another instrument. Although the original performance was recorded on 24-track tape, Prince continued to use the 48-track setup he'd begun in mid-August to work on these songs. The session started out with 8 hours of guitar overdubs. 8 hours of guitar overdubs. During the August 3rd concert, Prince's guitar on Baby I'm a Star was supposedly out of tune, so he had to make overdubs based on that same slightly out of tune instrument. As usual, Prince played his guitar while standing next to the mixing board, listening to it on headphones with a microphone in front of the speaker in the studio. This was a common practice when he was recording on his own. I always find it fascinating when you see those clips of Prince like playing, like there's the one where he's playing bass like right at the board and he's like sitting down, but like it's like incredible. So after dinner, another 2 hours and 45 minutes of overdubs were put to tape. A single cassette copy of the session was created for Prince to review. Yes, 8. So we're going to keep moving. So we're going to start reading about Friday, September 2nd. And we're still doing various overdubs, including vocals for I Would Die For You and Baby I'm a Star. Michael Dean, take it away, starting with the quote, page 152.
Engineers drive me crazy. It's because they're so technical. Everything just got so esoteric.
Yeah, esoteric. You got it.
We've got to do this a certain way. When you're ready to play, the engineer I use and give credit to on the album, that's an interesting thing for him to say. The engineer I use and give credit to on the album, she sets everything up for me most of the time before I come in. And then I just do what I have to do and split. She puts things together afterward. The engineer I use and give credit to, as opposed to the ones he uses and doesn't give credit to, or something.
That is a weird way to say that. Yeah, I hear you.
I love Prince. No matter no matter what time the session was scheduled to begin, the engineer or assistant engineer, depending on the credit being given, would show up 30 minutes early to make sure the studio was ready to go when Prince arrived. He wasn't fond of waiting for anything, especially for something technical. Today's session was originally slated for noon, but Prince rescheduled it for 3 p.m. and didn't show up until 4:30, leaving in
5:30.
5:30. I'm on some fours today. 5:30, leaving engineer Peggy McQuarrie waiting. Here's her quote. What would happen is we would leave at 4 or 5 in the morning, and he would call with an 11 a.m. or a 2 p.m. start, and he would sleep. But I had to get there early to set up. So he'd be rested and I'd be there pumped up on coffee. And he wouldn't show up and I would be waiting. I said to him that this is killing me. And he would just say, well, I didn't wake up. And everyone was afraid to wake him up. He'd say, I tell them to wake me up, but they don't. I'm like, right, whatever. So he gave me his number straight into his room or whatever he was, and he said, just call me when you're here. So that worked out pretty well, but that took quite a few years, and I was just fried. He didn't want anyone else there, and he kept me waiting, and he would come in with an attitude because he kept me waiting so long. That's another interesting sort of thing to say. Prince did 9 hours of additional overdubs on these tracks, including replacing much of his own lead and background vocals. But they always required a little more effort to match the energy of the live performance because the song was still incomplete. Prince didn't work on a mix or make a cassette copy at the end of the session. The phrase, we are all a star and baby, I'm a star, probably comes from Sly and the Family Stone's Everybody is a Star, which had been covered by Prince's first band, Grand Central. The underlying theme is that everyone is a star and we're all important and serve a purpose.
So this is a really interesting. Before reading Duane's book, I wouldn't have thought that he would have overdubbed the vocals. I could see where he would overdub some guitar but like actually trying to overdub your vocal on top of a live track, it's pretty crazy. So it actually makes a lot of sense that they require a little bit more effort to match the energy of the live performance. Um, yeah, that's really, really crazy. All right. So we are at the end of our reading for the day, but we're not done because we want to give the people what they want. But let's wrap up the what did Prince do this week. So this week we have 52 studio. At this point in 1983, there have been 52 studio visits total. I'm not going to read all of this because we have other stuff to talk about. But for anybody who's new, you can see what Prince has been doing so far this year in a lot of detail, and you can find the slides on the website. And let me put that up really quickly if I can find it, which is bookclub.polysolid.com. It's on the homepage at the bottom. And if you click on a lot of the links, it will take you to YouTube channels and all that jazz. All right, so let's get into it, because some of you had already started in the chat. Well, before we get into it, I want everybody to know that Brent Fisher is going to be on a podcast on September 7th at those times there. And if you click on it, it actually is the previous conversation that Brent had with the Jazz Mill. So it will keep you it's like an in the meantime thing to do if you're really excited about that. And then some of you said you wanted to talk about Dr. Funkenberry's Morris Day interview. Michael, did you have an opportunity?
I haven't
to
chance to see it yet, but I'm okay being spoiled.
Okay, you're okay being spoiled. Well, we don't want to talk about it too much. I can't remember who said they wanted to talk about it, but basically, like I said, if you Morris is going to have a couple of dates in Vegas, so that was like the main reason and in that conversation, Morris is saying that he's going to have some special guests, but he would not leak who those special guests would
Oh,
be. So just be aware of that if you'd like to go to Vegas. And Reggie B is saying that the interview was great with Morris. Yeah, I thought it was I
shout
mean,
out to Dr. Funkenberry, man.
of course. Yeah,
Oh,
Dr. Funkenberry, he's been, doing this for a very long time and he knows everyone very well. And it was great that Morris was obviously very comfortable with him. So that was really great to see. And I guess in retrospect, thinking about it, and it makes a lot of sense. You can kind of tell that what really stood out for me is how Morris views Paisley Park now. Like, it's just not the same. Because when he went to Paisley Park before, Prince was there. It was like it was Prince's home, and so I'm sure all of the Prince people by extension probably felt like it was their home too, like you can relax a little. It was just really interesting to hear how he feels about Paisley Park. And to be honest, I've heard Jerome say similar stuff about how it just doesn't feel the same. And I'm sure that's the same with any family, like if you go back to a family home where certain family members are no longer there,
right.
it can be, you can feel some kind of way. So
Well, somebody said he had thoughts on his thoughts on Graffiti Bridge were interesting. What?
yeah, I mean, his thoughts on Graffiti Bridge actually mirror my thoughts on Graffiti Bridge, which is he talked about how Purple Rain felt real. And the reason why Purple Rain felt real is that they actually had a lot of external shots, meaning like they shot outside. And he felt that he called Purple Rain real, and he called Graffiti Bridge surreal, and which it is surreal. And the reason why it's surreal is because they filmed the majority of it, almost like I don't know, 95, 98% of it at Paisley Park on a soundstage. So it feels surreal, kind of, because I think that's what Prince was going for. And it took me decades to figure out, like, oh, that's what he wanted, like sort of like this, maybe even a dream, a surreal sort of nature. But that's what frustrated me when I first saw it. And Morris said with Dr. Funkenberry that he felt that it should have been a more proper sequel to Purple Rain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, so no spoilers there. I mean, we kind of heard some of that.
Did they talk about? I did see the beginning. Did they talk about like the making of the original albums and stuff at the time?
And he talked a little bit about some of his recordings, and I think he basically said, I mean, again, everybody says this. I mean, Eric said this. They recorded so much, that's not released. And Morris said that specifically there were a lot of times where he would be playing drums and Prince would be playing bass. Like that was sort of the base of their songs. And that, sometimes they would be built up and sometimes they're not. And he said there were probably hundreds of hours of just that in the vault. And so when Dr. Funkenberry is trying to ask him like specific questions about certain songs, like he couldn't respond because I mean, this is like 40 years ago.
I remember that. Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember what I did yesterday. So so I could definitely understand that. Yeah. And so one of the things that I thought was great that Dr. Funkenberry asked him in terms of his live shows is if he would play some condensate songs. So it seems like he might put some condensate songs in the set after Dr. Funkenberry asked about that. And yes, it was always funny when Morris would say it's in the book. Yeah. And I love this Graffiti Bridge was a fever dream. So kind of going back, but I know this is kind of going back, but I think this is a really awesome comment, SMS. This is why it's cool to have that copy of the recording of the August 1983 show, but that's not the end all be all. Those final overdubs are the ones. It's the more polished, finished product. I agree with this in regards to I Would Die For You and Baby I'm a Star, but I really wish that live version of Computer Blue would have come out even though I love the recorded version, but it's something about that performance at First Avenue that I thought was really special. But obviously, Prince didn't feel that way because he started from scratch on that. And then Kel is saying, wouldn't shooting on location, yeah, be much more expensive than shooting at Paisley Park? You're absolutely correct. And this might be a driver behind it. But at the same time, I do think that Prince was wanting to go for a more spiritual, surreal environment. So maybe it just fit one another, meaning that, being less expensive at Paisley Park and all that. And Reggie's saying, I've had the pleasure several times the last 12 years to personally hang with Morris, man. And he said he was on drums for more songs on Prince's early albums than people know. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yep. And there was one, do you guys remember the song where Dr. Funkenberry asked if it was him or Prince playing the drums? And Morris was like, it could have been either one of them because Morris said that Prince kind of mirrored his drum style in the same way that Andre says that Prince mirrored his bass style. And it's probably true, like when you hang out with your friends and I mean, you do rub off on one another. So,
man, I hope they can put some of those recordings out one day. That would just be awesome, man. And if it was like one of those pictures, I could just see the cover of Prince and Morris went there at the control booth. Prince kind of like, and if it was just like, it was just the raw recordings of all of that stuff, that would, man.
And that would be incredible. Just to see the camaraderie between Prince and Morris would be awesome. Because I know they'd be cracking each other up.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would be, how they had the 7 box set that we're gonna show here in a second. Like, imagine if they did that. It could be a limited thing. Yeah, we're gonna just do 3,000 copies or something. 350 a pop. Man, sold out in seconds.
Yeah. So AJJ, are you saying that bacon skin was because I know obviously we all know about Chlorine Bacon Skin. Was that the song that Dr. Funkenberry asked specifically? I can't remember. I don't think this is for you, Michael.
I haven't interviewed him for the show, but we have talked on the phone multiple times. We probably should have been recording it, but he's not come on. He's going to come on. He wants to come on after he's done doing all of them, and then he'll like say who he is and all that.
Thank you, Micah. Yes, this was the song, Irresistible. And I thought that was a great question that Dr. Funkenberry asked, if it was him or Prince playing on Irresistible, and Morris is like, it could be either. So something to think about. And that's even incredible to mirror someone's skill to use for yourself, man. Not everyone can do that. Nope. And let's see.
Morris Day does not get the props that he should as a musician. If going by what he's saying and what we know of him, like, man, he should be. So when they be like, who was the best drummer conversation on Prince, y'all better make sure y'all mention Morris Day. Like, he's on a lot of them classic records.
Yes. And Morris also talked about, singing a version of International Lover and basically Prince doing the kiss, taking it back. So it happens. So yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about Irresistible. The drums on Irresistible, I can remember as clear as day hearing Irresistible for the first time with my Uncle Charles. My Uncle Charles freaked out. I can remember exactly where I was, how he reacted. It was like it's one of my favorite memories of all time.
Can I just speak on that for a second? You just reminded me. Irresistible Bitch. I would also put Erotic City in that. Those were those records. It was records. When somebody would play that, and you, like you said, you'd be like, oh, like, yo, Prince, he'll have that heat where you just like, that's dope. Like, that's filthy. We used to say that's filthy. Like, yeah, pocket drummer. It was just on point. Like, Prince had those kind of jams. Like, he was kind of known as, yo, you want the song that is going to shut it down and is funky as hell? play that or play head or something. Sometimes I feel like that is lost just because now it's just you have it in abundance. But you got to remember, there was a time when Prince was that dude, like in terms of like the production, he was that guy. He was the singer. He was all of that, and it was dope. It was the cutting edge of like, funk and the culture and those songs like that were like, man, nobody, you can't do what Prince is doing. You might be able to do a Prince style sounding song, but no one ever came with something that could compare to the Irresistible Bitches or 779311. It was just something that kind of sounded kind of like it, but it was a certain feel that he had. It was just like, ugh. So yeah, Irresistible Bitches, a monster. Like,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and them being, I was surprised when we go to the Purple Rain live concert that they could play it live. Like I was like, there'd be no way that song's gonna sound as dope live as it did on that record. And he smashed like he was like, yeah, I know I'm smashing this out. Like, 25, Nick. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I know it's dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't think we'd be able to play it like this.
Yeah.
That's that confidence that that style that you had.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, the thing though, the studio version versus the live version though they're both hot, but they're different.
Right.
And like I've been saying like at nauseum that I love live Prince, and I do love live Prince. That's my favorite Prince. But I will say, when it comes to Irresistible, I prefer the studio version. Like if I had to go to a desert island, and because it's something about the beginning, just the beginning, but that do 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 do, like and then like yeah, you know what I'm talking about. That and like the sound effects. So I gotta shout out to the engineers on that one because like I can hear it right now in my head. It's crazy. Did he say that? I don't remember him saying that. I don't remember that part.
I wouldn't be mad if he did say it. Like,
Yes. Oh, yeah. And Lisa, I've said this, I will say it again. I love Lisa back in Prince. And like Lisa on the stick, like I love Lisa's tone. It's like it's just perfect for Prince's music. So yeah. So yeah, Prince and Morris literally could be in a room and be like, man, was that you or me on the drums? Yep. That's what Morris said, and I believe him. All right. I want to make sure the usher doesn't come in. And for those of you who missed this last week, the live stream is still up, so you can watch it, and it was awesome. What I really loved about this performance, and Liv Warfield is incredible vocalist, but the standout track for me was when Cassandra O'Neal sung "Sometimes It Snows in April" because she made it her own. It was beautiful. It's really usually sad to me, like most people sing it sad. And she was sad. You could tell that she was emotional, but I thought she did a beautiful rendition of it. And then I felt so bad for St. Paul because he was bleeding because his brother came over and hit him in the face with the mic by mistake, but like he couldn't get the bleeding to stop, but he kept performing. It was like painful to watch, and that just shows you what a professional that St. Paul is. So I definitely recommend that you check this out if you haven't, because what was incredible about this performance, it was a big band, because Michael, you had asked, or Ricky, I think, had asked if it was a big band. It was a big band performance, and they started off with Xenophobia.
Wow.
That was incredible to hear that live. So just hearing Xenophobia live with this huge big band is something to see. And yes, Mila knows Cassandra O'Neal was amazing. Yes. All right. So we're going to keep it moving because this is just the appetizer. I know all of you guys had a really great time at the Spike Lee joint. I heard that some people got hot because there were so many people.
Is anybody hot?
No, you want to know why? And we've already talked about this, so this just lets you know that I wasn't kidding when I said I wanted to talk about it. So, Maria, in terms of the live stream, if you go to the website for the book club, let me see if I can find it, which is here. and you scroll all the way down to the bottom where you see the slideshow. Just go to where the slideshow is, and you can click on it. Also, you can actually go to last week's playlist on YouTube, and I actually have a link to it as well. I didn't get around to doing the playlist this week. I'll do it after the show has ended, and you can you'll be able to listen to it that way. So again, I'm going to repeat myself because we have some new people. But if you go to the slideshow, a lot of these are clickable links. So you just click on it and it'll take you to the YouTube stream. And yes, the whole performance was fantastic. And yes, Vanessa, it was the hottest day of summer, the MJ Prince event. And Reggie B. Spinner played my Screams of Passion cover at the Spike Lee party. Nice. Very cool. All right. So Matt Thorne has just released the second edition of Prince, the Man and His Music. If you don't have Matt Thorne's first edition, because it's the same book, he just added basically post-Prince, like post-2016 stuff in it. Okay. And then you can listen to a podcast that he did with Troy Foreman. I think it's about an hour long. So again, if you click on the image in the slideshow on the homepage of the book club, you can go directly to the Amazon link, or you can just Google it. Do your Googles, as Michael Dean would say. Or you can go listen to PC Principle Podcast, which stands for Pop Culture Principle Podcast, I think, if I remember correctly.
I think we have the guy behind the podcast in the chat.
Oh, there you go.
What's happening?
See, you were supposed to be here. Thank you so much, Troy, for actually interviewing Matt Thorne and trying to give a shout out to your podcast. I thought it was a really amazing interview, very thorough. So for those of you who don't know about Matt Thorne or don't know about the first edition of the book, you should definitely take a listen. Of course, it's my pleasure. Thank you for doing all that you do. So let's see. And then Sabella saying Spike Lee said that it was gifted to him by Prince. I'm assuming you're talking about the guitar. All right. So let's get to the main event that you guys came in at the top of the chat wanting to talk about it. So we're going to talk about it. So 54 days and counting. I wonder what that is for. You're in the wrong place if you don't know what the 54 days and counting is for, okay? But if you don't know, this is what we're waiting for. The Diamonds and Pearls Super Deluxe Edition. 12. Yeah. Oh, boy. 12 LPs and a Blu-ray. 7 CDs and a Blu-ray if you're not rolling with the vinyl. Previously, this is what I'm waiting for. Previously unreleased live at Glam Slam, January 11, 1992. Troy, what did you get? Did you get the CD or did you get the vinyl? That's what we want to know. Everybody in the chat, what did you pre-order? Did you pre-order the Super Deluxe? Did you not need the Super Deluxe and you just went with one of the other 2 vinyl sets? And if you went the 2 vinyl sets, did you get the clear version? Did you get the white version? Did you get the pearl? Did you get the diamond? And look at Troy. Troy's like, okay, you're rolling with me. Both. That's the way I roll. Yep. That's what I love. Yep. LP and CD Super Deluxe. So what, Maria? You need to see if you can put me in touch with who was at that Glam Slam show and ask them if they'd be willing to come on to talk to us about it. I would love to talk to them. That was an incredible show. We saw it last year at Celebration. Can't wait to see it again. Mila is rocking the Super Deluxe Final. Castro 74 got the Super Deluxe LPs. Vinyl, it seems to be in the lead. Super Deluxe Edition Vinyl from Nikki. And let's see. No worries, Reggie.
Anybody getting the Dolby Atmos version of the album?
Yes. Is anyone getting the Atmos? Yeah. The Blu-ray. I don't have anything to play it on, but I'm debating on getting it in case I ever do.
Yeah, I could see that.
I don't know.
Just
I
to
don't
have
know.
it. When
Yeah,
you finally, like for me, I'd probably catch up to that in about 5 years. Like, oh yeah, I finally got a receiver that can do Atmos. Let me pull out that.
look at Troy. Yes, and the Atmos.
Oh man, Troy ain't playing. Okay, let me
It's
buy
not
that.
playing.
Podcast gods.
And Troy's like just cause. And then Annie has CDs plus the Blu-ray. So Michael Dean, I actually bought about, I can't remember. I wish I could remember the count, but I probably had bought 50 plus CDs before I had a CD player. I couldn't afford a
Oh,
CD player, but I was like, I was
but you
buying,
had the CDs,
but I had
the
this.
long box.
Yeah, the love box. Yeah,
Right.
but I couldn't afford it. So that's how I know I'm eventually. So I was like, maybe I don't know. And let's see what CD's talking about. I got the CD Super Deluxe because I no longer have a way to play LPs, and all my LPs are in storage, climate controlled storage, but storage nonetheless.
Hmm.
And SMS 130 says, we're going to be the Jughead. I'm going to support a local. I love this. I love this. Going to support my local record store and get my CD copy the day of the release. It's going to get the deluxe vinyl copy also. So, okay, I want to talk to you, SMS. I live in New York City. When the 1999 box set came out, I wanted to buy it from a local record store too.
Mhm. Good
Me
luck.
and my husband called about 10 to 15 record stores and nobody had it. And then the record stores we did call bought so few of them that they were only about like 2 or 3 and they would be sold out. So make a very long story short, for those of you who are in the New York City area, if you know about Academy Records, the one on 18th Street, that's where I eventually got it. But I think they had bought like 5 copies, and I think I got the last copy or something like that. So you just have to make sure you have an in with your local record store to make sure that you can do it. But I applaud you for that, and that's what we should be doing, is supporting our local record stores. So really appreciate this. And so SMS is also saying I'm going to get the deluxe vinyl copy as well. And then we got Alice CDs. And SMS says we're going to do the Jughead that day. And then Maria's asking, anybody got an extra 1999 Super Deluxe Edition CD they don't want? Now, I know that the vinyl is sold out, but I didn't think, are the CDs sold out?
I think so, yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't realize that. And Kim says I got these pre-ordered bills for September. So
Okay. I'm talking.
yes, and Reggie, yes, I was
That rent payment, goddamn.
well, yeah, that too. And I was manifesting a CD player. That's especially. Let's see what else. So let's
Sorry.
saying, same here. I tried to buy local in DC too, and the 2 that had it, they only had 2 copies. They sold quick, so now I'm friends with both owners. And then Celia is saying, thanks for saying I thought that I was the only person who had CDs before I had a CD player. CD player cost more than my VCR that I bought on layaway. Now the VCR players came out, they were super expensive. Like I want to say they were at $800 or even maybe $1,000 when VHS players came out. Layaway, I know all about layaway. I don't think they do layaway. I don't know if everybody knows about layaway, but I know about layaway. Yeah, that's the way we rolled. And yes, we got to give a shout out to Moose Music and the ATL, one of my favorite record stores, owned by Daryl Harris.
Mm-hmm.
And we got someone also representing Electric Fetus, pre-ordered at Electric Fetus, the deluxe CD. For those of you who don't know, Electric Fetus is the last record store that Prince actually went to, which is in Minneapolis. And Christopher saying, just CDs, who can afford vinyl and CDs like that? And so Christopher Tracy, I'm going to tell you what I've always said to people who say this.
Pocket watch.
Everybody has their vices. I don't drink. I have never drank. I have never even had a glass of wine. I don't smoke. One of the reasons why I've never drank or smoked is that I was like, drinking or vinyl? It was really simple. I'm serious, Michael. I was like, I don't have who wants to spend their money on wine and all that and liquor when you can buy CDs and vinyl and stuff. That's just how I roll. So you have to figure out like what your priorities are. So I don't go clubbing. I don't wear makeup if you notice. I'm not into like bags like most women are. Like I don't even know what they're called, like Birkin and all that. I don't do what do I buy? I buy records. I buy records and Blu-ray, Shaw, Shaw
Oh,
Scope,
there you
Shaw Brothers. That's what I buy. So you have to figure out like what your priorities are. And I learned in my teens what my priorities were. So yeah, and I didn't even eat. So there you go. All right.
yeah.
So Zaire Super Deluxe vinyl. And let's see, fill you on that I got that Parliament Funkadelics re-releases on CD at Musicland before I had a CD player back in 1990.
Mm.
Oh no, Zaire! Oh no! I could do this to Zaire. We're gonna talk about it. We friends, everybody. I'm not being mean. He understands. All right. So let's see. Maria says to try to get mine from Record Store, and they were all gone. I want the vinyl of 1999 Super Deluxe. I am so mad at myself for not getting it when it was released. Though I wish I had gotten the vinyl with the CDs on. Though I wish I had gotten the vinyl with the CDs on the 1999 Super Deluxe. I haven't been to Rough Trade Records in Rockefeller Center yet because I know that movement, right? So I really want to go. So thank you for letting me know. It's also a good source of a vinyl. Rough Trade is one of the places I actually called that day, and they said that they didn't say this, but I have a strange feeling that one of those copies, they only had 2 copies, and I think one was reserved for Questlove. And I couldn't get there in time. So have you guys seen the new video clip of Jerome and P playing ping pong during On the Cherry Moon? Yes, we have. It's an incredible clip. And what's even more incredible about it is that Jerome beat him twice, both times. And Prince
Yeah.
off the ping pong ball.
You know what I love about it? It just shows to me the confidence and, as a played out word, the swag of Prince. Even when he knows this is not for public consumption, I'm just doing my regular with my boys. He's still dressed like he just jumped out of, parade or whatever. And just his mannerisms, the way he was slamming the ball down. Okay, yeah, let's go, Playboy. I mean, like I was like, that's the guy, man. Like he was that dude, and he knew it. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't some shy little. He's so shy. He looked like a regular cat that was one of them cats that was always on point. He was the cool brother. Real clean. You know what I'm saying? Play. All right, let's go, baby. I was like, yeah, we needed to see that Prince, man. That's the Prince I could kind of hear it in the records, but to see the visual of that, that's why I commented. I said, man, we need to see more of these archives like this. This is the Prince I've been wanting to see forever. The Prince we get a glimpse of in Cherry Moon, where I think might be closer to how he really, acts when he's not putting on the persona. But yeah, I thought that was great. Rolling with Rome, I think that's what they call it.
Yeah, it's called Rolling with Rome. I'm sorry. Michael D, I'm laughing at Lee Christian's comment here. I applaud your choices, D'Angela. I don't have the same restraint, but good for you. So I'm going to tell you what I tell my students. I never started, so I don't have to stop. So that's my thing. I won't stay. Never mind. We're going to keep moving. All right. So the first CD I bought was Parade in 1988 before I had a CD player. Yes. Yes, TP, I don't have bandwidth for alcohol, makeup, or whatever. You understand. Lee Christian saying, I couldn't get the 7 boxes on any of these, kind of gutted, but I have the originals of most of them. Anyway, yeah, Lee Christian, you got the originals. Nothing's better than the original, to be honest. Let's see. And Kim is saying, I'll probably buy vinyl and CDs Super Deluxes as usual. So the clip is on... actually on Twitter, if you go to I am Jerome Bitten, that is Jerome's handle. And there's actually a poll right now. He's going to post, I'm hoping, the whole video. He's asking people if they want it posted on YouTube versus Instagram. I voted for YouTube. Yes, the color of his suit, Maria, was so pretty. It was fuchsia. Indeed, it was beautiful. Yes. Seeing Prince perform at Glam Slam was a highlight for me. I'm sure it was. Um, let's see what else. This is a good point. I like this point, Mila. Mila says you never know who you're going to run into, so Prince had to stay looking sharp.
Mm.
And,
Mm.
yep.
Mm.
Man Ray. Man Ray says Prince should have taken off them heels and put on some tennis shoes to beat Jerome at ping pong.
But he was cold enough to do it in heels. That's the cold part. And play basketball.
I love this, Troy. This is hardcore. Troy has a credit card dedicated solely to Prince-related purchases. That is a good idea. Okay. I'm getting schooled here. All right. And let's see. Kim doesn't have a record player, by the way, even though Kim's probably going to get it. And Baron is saying pay and PayPal is the new layaway. That's a good point, Baron. I like that. I love this too from Jeff. Prince stay clean for Prince, not who ran into him. Look at that. I'm sure you're right. Thank you for that, Jeff. Melvin. I hear you. Nothing's wrong with it. I'm just telling you, this is my choice, but obviously I respect your choices as well. Reggie B, I got a lot of my original vinyl of almost all the 80s albums in 12-inch. And yes, footnote Prince B, Eddie's Boys and Heels, talking about Charlie Murphy's true story. Yeah, I miss Charlie Murphy. And Purple Cat Confetti is waiting for the podcast about the DMP era like they did for the 1999 remastered era. Let's see what Lee Christian's saying. In the new classic pop magazine, Diamonds and Pearls special, Michael Koppelman says he knew Prince was depressed during Graffiti Bridge because he just turned up in a scruffy jumper. During Diamonds and Pearls, he spruced up again, apparently. All right, so let's keep talking about the Super Deluxe Edition because we're going to keep talking about it as much as we've been talking about Computer Blue. So I'm really looking forward to the Glam Slam. There's also Live at the Special Olympics. There's also the Special Olympics sound check. And I have seen bits of it, but I hope it's like unedited, uncut. That's what I'm looking for. So there is that. And let's see.
What if they came out with a Prince Estate pancake mix? Purple pancakes.
Purple pancakes.
I'll buy it up. Y'all would buy it up.
If we would, I would buy it. Purple pancakes. I would make me some purple waffles. Michael?
In conjunction with Bisquick. I'm just talking.
But I mean, that's pretty cool. All right, Troy's looking forward to a cleaner version of Get Blue, my favorite Prince unreleased track. No, I didn't see this. Did you see this? Questlove's Diss, so Work That Fat. Let's see. And then Melvin saying the CD Diamonds and Pearls are high on the must-have list. Okay. And so there's going to be the Diamonds and Pearls video collection. What's missing for me is actually having the Get Off video collection as well. I have that on VHS. All the Get Off videos, like Get Off House Style, Gangsta Glam, blah, 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 blah.
My thing about that is, unless they're going to be 4K copies, then you can watch those on YouTube.
Yeah, you can watch them on YouTube. But the thing is, like, I know YouTube is around right now, but YouTube is not forever. I mean, we hope it's forever, but these platforms die sometimes. So that's me. I'm more of a physical media person for that reason. Look at Jeff. Jeff makes purple pancakes every June 7th. Food coloring is your friend. Yes, the Christian. Somebody's with me. The Get Off VHS is classic. All right. And then you get the brand new 120-page, 12-inch hardback book. And one thing that I like about the book, as far as what I've seen, is that it has a different cover than the actual box set, which is really
Hmm.
awesome. And I really wish that the singles box set also had a different cover. But from as far as I can tell, they're the same cover. And I actually wish that the singles box set would have had the cover of the Get Off for like, or something yellow, or even a fuzz, like a furry box, because this is supposed to be like fur. Like, imagine if you got a furry singles box, because like one of the colors that's missing from everything is the gold. And then, like Prince with the yellow cloud, like the gold, the yellow is kind of missing. That's, I'm wearing my yellow shirt today, from everything that's being released. And because you have to understand, I'm coming from this as a designer. What's up, Law? It's so great to see you here. And then let's see. Jeff, you are speaking the truth here. If your collection depends upon a server, you don't have a collection. I'm kind of with you on this because, again, the services go down. I mean, I don't think YouTube is going anywhere anytime soon, but you just never know. Yes, that Get Off VHS was bananas.
Oh, wait, what do you say about if you don't have a collection? Then I guess I ain't got no collection. I'll be all that. I'll be all right.
And Kat is saying, Funkaberry said the Netflix doc won't be out this year, maybe never, as they signed the deal 6 years ago. Anyone know if there's a legal time limit on how long it should take on deals like this? I personally don't know, but I would assume there's got to be a limit. I mean, I don't know, but
I hope it comes out, but I don't know anything. So
I don't know. Yes, Zaire, hologram would have been great too. I'm with you. Reggie, this is my favorite song, Violet the Organ Grinder. Out of all of the Diamonds and Pearls related tracks, Violet the Organ Grinder is one. But as Just Rules is saying, the box set looks and sounds great. I haven't listened to it yet because I want to wait until I actually get the box set before I do that. Yeah, I'm going to do a lot of, and it's not about flexing, to be honest, Jeff. I'm really doing this for myself, to remind myself of what I do and don't have. So that's what I usually do, pull out and see what I have, because I discovered today that I don't have the Thunder picture disc. I do have the Money Don't Matter Tonight picture disc, if I can find it, which is this guy here. This is the Money Don't Matter Tonight picture disc. And it has Push and Call the Law on the back.
call the law.
So I got that. And then I also have the original vinyl, the UK. This is the original. I guess you guys can see that. And actually, I'll go full screen for a second just so you can see it a little bit better. Yeah. Here, and I didn't take it out of the plastic this time because I was lazy this morning. And then I have the 12-inch of, this is the UK version of Get Off. I'm sorry, not Get Off, Diamonds and Pearls. I'm in Get Off mode. Diamonds and Pearls, House Bangers, Cream, MPG, things that got to change here, like this. So while we're talking about it and I'm showing stuff, let's really quickly look at the box set here. I'm going to do like a little, see if I can get some shimmering going on. You can kind of see the spot varnish. The spot varnish says Prince and the New Power Generation Diamonds and Pearls in the really small type at the bottom. But it has a spot varnish. It's glossy foil. So it's like a full print. This is what it looks like on the, let's see, let me get it. There you go. That's a little bit better. And then when you open the box, what I love is, oops, wrong way. Open it, you get the Diamonds and Pearls eye. I thought that was a nice touch. And what I love about this box is that it's not a top and bottom cover. It's actually connected, which is different from the Sign of the Times single. So it's all like one thing. So it's like a clamshell, but a really nice clamshell. And then there are these cards, and unlike the Sign of the Times singles box set where you just got one card, you got all 7 this time. So we got some Randy St. Nicholas photography in here. I want to say this was that celebration last year, but I can't remember when there was that amazing exhibition of Randy St. Nicholas photography. We got this one. We got MPG and the place to be. Again, that's the extent of my rapping. Got this lovely photo here in the red. We got Mo MPG and another amazing Randy St. Nicholas. I want to say this is the cover of the hardcover book, but the picture, but I'm not sure. And then last but definitely not least, I love this photo, which is from the video of Violet, the organ grinder. And it comes with a nice little tie here, so they won't be like floating around. And then the actual singles are in a very hard card stock, which is super nice. But the kicker is that the vinyl is beautiful. I gotta show you guys the vinyl because it's like a pearl. It's not a white. It's like a pearl. And this stream is not going to do it justice. You actually have to see it in person. And it's heavier than most 7 inches. So it's like beautiful. So it's I really wish that they had like a milky white vinyl. I wish that the milky white vinyl for the album would have been the pearl, because it is like stunning, stunning, stunning. And this is the back of the 7-inch here. And I'm gonna leave that one to the end. Let's see. And then this is for Cream here, Cream, and the back. And we got Insatiable and the back. Then we're gonna talk about this in a hot second. This Prince and the New Power Generation Black, because this is what the US single looked like, as well as the Japanese mini CD. Most people, at least I'm used to this cover because this is the UK version. And so I have the 12-inch, and I already showed you guys last week. If I can find it real quick, is it here? My prized possession of like the sparkly one, which also has the same cover. So I'm used to this version versus actually seeing this in black and white. And then as a designer, if you look at these two, like this font came from nowhere, but Mathieu Baton, who actually designed these, is following the original font that they released for the US single. I don't know like who originally came up with this font because it just doesn't go with a lot of the other font choices for the era. Then we have Money Don't Matter Tonight. And we got the back here. And all of these have that pearl vinyl. So it's so nice. Now, the only thing that I question is this one, which is Thunder, basically. And like the printing on this, I don't know if it's the printing. I thought it was richer in the color than this, but I'm not complaining. It's just me as a designer being a little nerdy. And then this is the new single, Alice Through the Looking Glass. And I love this image on the back that Matthew designed. And it's Horny Pony version 2. And I haven't listened to this because I want to wait until I actually get the box set. So that is a little preview. I haven't been let's see. Hi, Anil. It's great to see you here. I'm surprised they didn't do a replica of the Get Off Damn Near 10 Minutes promo. Speaking of which, Anil, I really would love if it's still time. Probably not, still not, but they could release it later. The reason why I say it's probably not time is because the final turnover is really long now because there are only so many record plants, because even the Betty Davis reissues that I was talking to you guys about, I keep getting messages from Line Addict that it's been delayed because of pressing issues, and I'm totally fine. I can wait for it. But It would be fantastic, Anil, if they did a 12-inch box, like they do for the singles box, and have the Get Off maxi single and the Cream maxi single and all of that. So that would be really, really cool. It is a beautiful box set. In terms, I did get a cool number like Prince Malik, who got like 319. My number is 1892 out of 1991. You kind of see that there. And it's just like, it's like printed on the box. It's not like a well cut out on the box rather. And yes, I mean, the 7-inch boxes sell out so quick. Yeah, they really do. Yes, Anil, I don't disagree. This era has some of his greatest 12 inches of all time. So
Rose era?
yeah, I mean, well, I think, Anil, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you're talking about not just Diamonds and Pearls, but also, like, for me, Graffiti Bridge, like this whole era of 12 inches. But correct me if I'm wrong. But I mean, the Get Off maxi single, again, this is the one. I can't afford the original promo one, that's the white one, but this is the one that this is my original one from 1991. It's one I love, 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 love this 12-inch because it has, you can see Violet the organ grinder on there, Gangsta Glam. You got House Style, and you got the flute instrumental, Clock and the Jizz instrumental. You got all these drawings by Prince. You got, that's why I'm wearing my shirt today. It's one of my favorite things. So Anil saying the maxi single era was special, making versions for every radio and club format, especially the Get Off and Cream EPs. Yes. I mean, I also like the new Power Generation one as well, just because like we were getting more music, like because like one of the reasons why I became a Prince collector was because of the B-sides. And I was a teen. I didn't even know, like, I would say, oh my God, this is so cool. We get more music that's not even on the album. And for me, I actually sometimes liked or loved the song better than any of the songs on the album. Going back to Irresistible, I played Irresistible like it was on the album. Like Irresistible was the song for me, and it was a B-side. Like I played La 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 He to death. I can flashback, some people remember when Kennedy got shot. I flashback when I was playing La 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 He in my Georgia Tech dorm room, like on repeat. So I love, love, love B-sides. And then when Prince transitioned to like the maxi format and, like with the new Power Generation and with the Get Off and variations of a theme. And this kind of goes back to our conversation, Michael Dean, about film. Like I love film soundtracks because they're usually variations on a theme. So like with Get Off and New Power Generation, they're all variations of a theme through songs. So like it really connected to my sort of cinematic love and roots. So yeah.
To be honest, I was a fan of the Get Off maxi single. I thought that was spectacular. I wasn't really a fan of the New Power Generation with the Lover to the Left and
yeah, Love to the Left.
Yeah, I was like, the thing is, I loved just getting the B-side joint, the song. Remixes sometimes I'm like, because I don't know. A lot of times I don't like remixes of Prince's stuff, but I love the Get Off one, and I loved the Cream Do Your Dance, but I wasn't really feeling all the other stuff. But I can respect though, like the appeal of it and everything you said. Yeah.
Thank you. I don't have diamond needles. So there's only so much. So it kind of goes back to you have to prioritize. Like I would love to have a audio file set up like Big Sexy. So I'm not rolling in the dough like Big Sexy. So I have to figure out like, do I want the equipment or do I want the vinyl? So right now, I have the vinyl, but if I'm ever in a financial position to get to Big Sexy level, I would definitely get to Big Sexy's level in terms of the audio equipment. but Big Sexy is a lawyer and I'm not. So yeah.
Yeah, he got it.
Yeah, so we gotta prioritize. And Mila is saying, I love, right? So I mean, there's always someone who loves something that,
Respect it.
that we respect it. So we're going to just maybe 15, 20 minutes and we're done. I can't believe it's just 2 o'clock. So this is good. This is when we normally end. So I always look forward to reading Prince's own handwritten lyrics because you always find something new out. Yes, JD, Big Sexy level. We all strive for that.
Yes, it's too big sexy here. Yeah.
Yeah, to see what Troy's saying. This guy knew back in the day, simply known as T, put on a 12-inch set on CD of 6 discs. I think I have to dig through my stuff to remember how many. That would be interesting to hear what was put on there. A decent turntime stylus is not expensive. No, but you're absolutely right, but I just don't have a diamond one. And then let's see. I love Prince remixes. The Sherm Stick edit of Let It Go. It's amazing. Yeah, like Let It Go. I love the Let It Go maxi single. So again, it just depends on what you want. I have techniques. So, but there is one made by Panasonic that's pretty good. I think that's like $600 or $700. I can't remember the name of it, but I can find it if you like. And that's very kind of you. All right. So, oh yeah, we can't forget about Space.
Those were dope.
Yeah, those are really dope too.
Universal Love.
Yeah.
And man, that a human has to.
Well,
He was on his Larry Graham a little. I mean,
yeah.
Larry Blackman. Excuse me.
So Christopher Tracy, that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about remixes because I don't like the remixes either. Like I can't even remember their names. Who are those remixes? The usual remixer.
Chef Pettibone.
Pettibone. Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm looking for. No, so we're actually talking about the maxi singles where Prince would create new songs from the original song, and create like 5 or 6 more songs off of the original song, which is what's going on the Get Off maxi single. So if this is a maxi single, and if you look at the back, all of these songs are actually variations of Get Off in various forms. And the same for Space, the same for Cream and things. There might be 1 or 2 that are like really far to the left or the right, but they're still kind of connected.
The best remix to me has to go to Shock G.
Mm,
Love Sign. That was the one I was like, okay, you're gonna do, yeah.
Yep. All right, so let's see. Trying to get through this. So I'm curious, is anyone planning on getting the Milky White 2 vinyls or the clear vinyls? Troy, are you going to do either or both of these? And technically the clear vinyl is actually limited edition, and I don't know how many it's limited to. I haven't pulled the trigger on this, but I still regret not getting the white vinyl. And I've said this before for the originals, because I just got the deluxe version. Now that's out of print. You can't find the white vinyl. So I'm curious if any of you guys are going to also get the Milky White. Now, if this was pearl white, I would get in a heartbeat because, again, like I said, the 7-inch pearl white looked incredible. But I don't think I'm going to get these, but I don't know. I could change my mind. I'm curious. No one's saying anyone's getting them, so maybe not. Okay, so for those of you who may be new to What Did Prince Do This Week or new to Prince, this is where you can pre-order. Just click on the link again on the slideshow. Yes, Troy, I'm with you. There has to be a point when I have to tell myself no. Yeah, and that's the point for me right now is because I'm still debating the Atmos, and see, you've already gotten the Atmos, so I'm debating. I would get the Atmos before I got the Milky White or clear vinyl, I think. but I don't know. I could change my mind tomorrow because that's how I roll. Okay. So Michael Dean did had a conversation on the Prince. I'm sorry, podcast on Prince. I'm so used to saying Prince podcast on Prince. With it was Big Sexy, Violet Brown,
The one,
Elena, yes, and it was a really so it's 4 of you total. So it was a really great conversation. I want to say it was like an hour or so. Is that right?
maybe a couple hours almost.
Yeah. It was a great review. So if you want a deeper dive, because we're not going to go into a deep, because we're going to be talking about this probably every week. So we're not doing that here. Michael Dean did a great job with it, and then also Princess Friend did one, and I think Dr. Monkberry did one. Like everybody has done. Everybody's talking about it. What'd you say, Michael Dean?
I said everybody got one.
Yeah, everybody got one.
Pick your flavor.
Yeah,
or if you like all, you just go to all of them.
Just binge.
Baptize yourself in it all.
Yeah, in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. Let's see. What, Celia? Celia is saying that he realizes that Diamonds and Pearls is the last album that I purchased in real time. After that, I only purchased CDs because they stopped making LPs. Oh, I see. This is the last vinyl you purchased in real time. Got it. No, I bought the Love Symbol vinyl. I don't think I bought gold on vinyl. So maybe Love Symbol is my last one in real time. And then I went back.
My last vinyl in real time was Love Sexy. Yeah, Love Sexy. I think I bought the cassette of Batman, cassette of Graffiti Bridge, CD of Love Symbol.
So I love Audra has a big sexy question. Yeah, this is definitely a big sexy question. Is the turntable or the speakers? Is it the turntable or the speakers that make the most difference? Where is big sexy when you need them?
Right.
I don't know. That is a really good question. Do we have any audio files in the house? Is JD still with us? Let's see.
I would say the speakers, because you could have a great turntable and crappy speakers. You're not going to hear what could possibly come out of those the turntable. But sound is always. If you think of video, sound is the most important aspect of video, right? It could be a crappy video, but if it sounds great, you're gonna hold your attention. I think if it sounds good, that's always the thing to me, which is why I have my headphones. Like I love to hear up close and personal, but that is a big sexy question.
It is. Just Rule says needle and speakers, amplifier 2. TP is saying both. So this is an amazing thread that Edgar, well, it's Prince thread, but I'm sure it's Edgar Krauser. And this is about the show that was canceled it was supposed to take place on August 31st, 1991. Again, I'm not going to go into it. If you click on the link, it'll take you to that Twitter thread. We already talked about that. I love this photo that Cassandra Bradley, I don't know if you're still in the chat, that you posted on Facebook, because you can really see how awesome the spot varnish is, because like depending on how you hold it in the light, you can actually see the type. But if you don't hold it in the light, sometimes you can or cannot see the type. I love that detail of the box set. So I thought that was really fantastic. And go ahead.
One thing I want to say about the box set stuff, which I think is great. So you know how quickly you got that when you guys ordered that? Some people got it the next day.
Yeah.
And being that there was pictures that had leaked months ago, I have a suspicion that I think most of those box sets, if not all of them, are already produced there's a fair number sitting at wherever they ship them at Paisley Park or something. So I'm hoping, we've all ordered this. We'll start to either see them just before the release day, or like you'll get it that day or the next day. They're going to show up very quickly. And I hope that's the case because it looks like they're probably already done and ready to go. So yeah,
All
I'm
right. So I'm excited. So JD is here. I'm not an audiophile, but I think the difference in high-end turntable stylists are less discernible than the performance and speakers. So he's with you, Michael Dean.
But I will say this. I love and respect the collector. Like I'm a collector when it comes to video and the pristine. But at the end of the day, for me personally, it all comes down to the music. Like you can give it to me on a boom box, or that's the most important thing to me. It's gonna sound dope regardless because the music is fire. We done spent the last, some of us have spent the last 20 years listening to some of the most horrible quality bootlegs, and they are imprinted in our soul, and we didn't have no problem banging. so, so I mean, definitely you can get what you can get, afford to get, but don't feel bad if you got to listen to on whatever off your phone. It's the music. That music is banging because you can have the dopest speakers. You can be listening to some BS, but Prince's music gonna work no matter how you got it. So don't get it twisted.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about this for a little bit, but I don't want to really get into a deep dive because I am really looking forward to the Diamonds and Pearls box set. And don't want you to think that I'm not, because I really am. It's one of my favorite eras, and I'm so happy that there's a focus on the 90s. But anybody who knows me knows that what I really want is and then for the after shows alone, like if they did an after show, a Love Sexy after show box set with video, I'm done. I don't need any more box sets. I'm done. Like that's all I need. And then the icing on the cake, I am with Stone Freak controversy with the Second Coming footage. And I'm really done. I need no more box sets. I would be happy. I can die. I'd be happy, 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 happy. So those are, and then I guess if I had to say the third one would be I really want a Love Symbol box set. So I like that. Those are the three for me. So
You said Love Symbol, Love Sexy,
and
and
controversy with the Second Coming.
Got it.
Love Sexy with the after shows.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm all about.
I would say, oh, go ahead.
No, I wasn't. Go ahead.
Oh, and I've said this before. Parade, of course, it's an easy one. And then after some listening last week, Dirty Mind, like a Dirty Mind. And I guess I would say for me, if you're gonna do Dirty Mind, you would have to throw in like the time stuff, some of that stuff we were talking about with Morris and Prince, like just stuff from that era sounded remastered, like the Dirty Mind album remastered, and the way he was recording it. I think that would be awesome. Of course, you could put whatever concert video, but I just think a deep dive on a hefty box of Dirty Mind Prince would be crazy. I think there would be things in there where we'd be like, whoa, how does this sounds like this? But yeah, anything really it would be crazy. But Dirty Mind and Parade. And Parade would probably have to be the most biggest set of all, because I'd be like, if you don't put this in there, if you ain't got that. But yeah, any of them, man. And the thing is, damn near any album that got that treatment would be a must buy though. From like,
oh yeah, I mean, I'm gonna buy all of them. It's just that, and I'm saying it kind of with a little bit of humor, but I'm actually not being funny. Is that I really would love to have a Love Sexy box set before I die, and more specifically, the after shows. And I'm 52, and no one lives forever. So yeah. That's what I really, really, really love. And then obviously the
what else throw in last one? Again, a time set. All the first 3 albums. Four, excuse me. The 4 albums.
Pandemonium.
put all that in there with the outtakes and all the
Well, see, we've talked about this before, Michael Dean, and so I don't really think about those albums, the side projects, in regards to the super deluxes, because what I want is all those 4 albums with Prince's originals right beside them.
Well, you could put that in there with that. So the
Yeah.
time album, you could have the Prince versions in it, but that would be.
Yeah.
And then they also, I know we're jumping all over the place, but I believe Mr. Spencer alluded that they might be doing a Jill Jones release later as well. So I think all these albums finally going to get, proper due that they should. So it's just great stuff, man. I'm happy. I'm happy with what's going on. Keep it coming.
Yeah, and I mean, Jill Jones is out of print, and so it's one of the best albums on Paisley Park, if not the best. So, and everybody should know, everybody knows that I love me some Jill Jones. So, all right, so shout out to Cassandra Bradley. I love the spread that Press Rewind posted on Twitter. So, because I did those flips with the quickness, so if you really just want to look at them, you can see them here. And then I wanted to take some time to talk about the differences between the singles box set as well as the original US single and the original UK single. So first column is US, middle column UK, and then the third column is the new 7-inch vinyl singles box set. So Get Off, the singles are the same in terms of the A-B side. And you can see that on the singles box set, the Gangster Glam is the B-side instead of Cream. I'm sorry, instead of Horny Pony, but we already got Horny Pony, so I'm totally fine with that. But I'm curious if any, like the people who love the edits, I'm assuming, might be upset at this. I don't know. I'm not upset because I'd rather get another song. And then Insatiable was not released in the UK as far as I know. And then the Insatiable single is pretty much the same. But when it comes to Diamonds and Pearls, they're a little slightly different. On the US version, there was excerpts from the songs, and it was a lot of songs. It was like little snippets. And then in the UK, it was Q and out. And then on the singles box set, it's Q and out. And then Money Don't Matter is the same. And then the 2 extra singles in the box are for Thunder. And it has Violet the Organ Grinder on the B side, which I'm very excited to see. And then we have Alice Through the Looking Glass edit and Horny Pony version 2. And like I said, I haven't listened to any of the new songs yet because I want to wait and listen to everything all at once. And so, okay, when I say Love Sexy Lee Christian in terms of Super Deluxe box set, what I'm really saying is Black Sexy, meaning Love Sexy and the Black Album, because they're sort of a diptych. They're the same, 2 sides of the same coin kind of thing. So I'm with you. Yes, Jill Jones is the one. Let's see. And let's see what else we got. I'm going to try to finish in 7 minutes. Matthew Batone posted this on Facebook, and these are the test pressings. And the only reason why I'm sharing this is that he says that originally the singles box set was going to have a 12-page booklet filled with unseen photos, but that ended up being cut. So, I mean, with all things, I'm one of those we want it all kind of people, except for the edits. And it comes to photos too, photography. So that would have been nice, but I'm sure finances were probably involved. But that's me making an assumption, and you know what the Three Stooges say about that. So don't listen to me. And then I really love this conversation that Edgar had about the Diamonds and Pearls, because I was a little thrown off by the black single that's in the box set. And for those because you guys come in and out of this stream in real time, so this is the single that's in the box, which is based on the US cassette single in particular. But this is what I'm used to seeing that you see here in the slide deck. And again, this is the UK version. And we've already talked about this, but that's what the UK 12-inch looks like, which I have, and I've already showed it to you, but here it is again, for those of you who may have joined us later. And then that is actually what the US cassette single looked like. So that's the reason why, because this is based off US 7-inch singles. This is the reason why this one looks like it does instead of the way that the UK version does, because that's the US version. And then there is also a Japanese mini CD. For those of you who remember mini CDs, I love the mini CDs, but I no longer have I used to have a mini CD player in my computer when I had a desktop, but I no longer have anything to play mini CDs on. I'm curious out there, do you have something to play a mini CD on? Yes, Cassandra, I loved your photos. I grabbed one of them and it's in the slideshow. You took some beautiful photography. And then Melvin saying, my last album in real time was? Yeah, sexy. And then, okay, let's see what Arthur's talking about. Where would we slot a DVD Blu-ray of The Undertaker?
Good question.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I guess it would be a simple album. I could see that.
Yeah, I think it would be Love Symbol. Does anyone disagree? I'm curious. But really, really great question. And all right. And then
or I guess it could be a part of the gold experience.
Yeah, it could be gold.
Very comprehensive, sort of like.
Yeah.
Into that.
Yeah.
That would be a dope special edition, like the gold experience, like the gold. And well, yeah, that would be wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful experience. You could put that in there. All of that.
But thinking about it though, I do really think that The Undertaker would go with the Love Symbol. That would be my vote. All right. So Edgar has oh, go ahead.
What's the other one? Didn't you have the yellow outfit? It was like in a club. It was released as well. It was a live concert.
Oh, I'm blanking. I know the one you're talking about now.
Somebody in the chat's got to know.
Somebody in the chat come through because we're having a senior moments.
What is it called? I remember watching it on TV.
No one's coming through. Are we having? Okay. So while we're waiting, The Undertaker could be a standalone release. There we go. Thank you. Sacrifice the Victor. Yeah. We are so old and senior. Yes. So let's see. I still have a 3 CD recorder player that would fit. Look at you, Kim. All right. And then Christopher Tracy has an Undertaker on Japanese Laserdisc, and the sound is incredible.
He says he's got a 4K Blu-ray.
I wonder if he means 4K Blu-ray only. Can you unpack that for us? So I know about the Japanese Laserdisc. Are you saying that it's comparable to 4K Blu-ray audio, or you have a 4K Blu-ray audio? Okay, Celie is saying that I just hope they include the beautiful experience video with the gold experience. So, and okay, Edgar is in the house. Edgar is coming in to school us. The Undertaker should be its own release. There you go, Arthur. Edgar is like, stop all this madness. It should be its own release. Okay. And yes.
I could see The Undertaker as a record day.
Oh yeah, record store day release. Yep.
On vinyl, that would be kind of cool.
So Edgar, I'm talking all about you. I've been loving all of your posts on Twitter. I never saw this until you posted this on Twitter, and I was just flabbergasted. As a designer, I clutched my pearls because that cassette single graphic at the bottom was like, how dare they? Oh my God. So Edgar posted that this is a hideous cassette single in the Netherlands. Even considering the design aesthetics of the early 1990s, it still looks bad. I totally agree. And yes, Edgar is in alignment with Record Store Day.
Mm.
And yes, that one is so I couldn't believe when you posted this, like, is this real? But I know it's real. Oh, I see. Thank you, Christopher. So Christopher Trace is saying, no, Undertaker should be on a 4K Blu-ray because the Laserdisc is digital audio. Got it. Thank you so much. We're a little slow. Yes. And then I love that John on Twitter, John D1210, posted this 1991 original still seal Polish diamonds and pearls now. Diamonds and Pearls cassette on the Polish Tact label. They got a parade. This is like, I hate when the photography gets messed up and it's not aligned with the right era. So I felt really bad, and I forgot that some people aren't diehard Prince fans. So one of my friends gave me a gift, and it had Purple Rain lyrics on it, and it had a picture from Diamonds and Pearls. Now, she just gave me the gift, and I was like, this sucks. Like, they got and she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said that out loud."
She thought she was doing something nice for you too. She's like, "Oh, she gonna love this. I know she loves her some Prince." You're like, "This sucks. Picture's not the right year."
So you have to be mindful of who you're talking to, especially where you're getting Prince gifts. So my apologies. All right. And then another thing that John posted, which just blew my mind. This is for me, this is even worse than this one. I mean, this is worse. I mean, this is worse than this one. This happens all the time. But this one, the same an image from the same era on the wrong CD. So Get Off Remix EP uses the Cream imagery. Yeah. So this is a thing.
And that's from Japan. That's interesting because normally their stuff be on point. But
yeah.
I didn't give a damn.
Yeah. I can see Lee. Yes. All right. And then what else we got? All right. So I announced this last time, but I didn't have any dates. So the save the dates, it's going to be December 9th and 10th. A Diamonds and Pearls Super Deluxe Virtual Celebration. That's the hashtag. I haven't gotten it together yet because work has really been extremely stressful and super busy. But in the meantime, you can always catch up if you hadn't had an opportunity to look at the Sign of Time Super Deluxe celebrations versus the Welcome to America celebrations. And they are different from symposia in that there are no presentations, it's nothing but roundtables. And I think I'm going to do like I did for Welcome to America, where we're going to have a European only roundtable. We're going to have the fellas and one roundtable, the ladies, and another one. I'm going to work on a new power generation panel I haven't done yet. I got to ask some folks. And then the For You crew, we're going to come together and do a discussion, and we're going to have like a writer panel I'm super excited about with like C. Lee and Harold Pride and Scott Woods and Camila Cummings and all those people because I haven't seen them in a while. So it's also an opportunity to connect with my family, my Purple family. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for that to happen, because December is a long time, October is a long time, I just want to remind everyone that the playlist for the 1+1+1=3 symposium is on my YouTube channel. There are 35 videos total, more on Vimeo. For Diamonds and Pearls alone, there are 13 videos with 7 hours of content and one more on Vimeo, which is 1 hour. So if you need to tide yourself over until October and you really want to do a deep dive into Diamonds and Pearls, we have lots for you. We have a Diamonds and Pearls keynote with Scott McCullough, who actually goes through all of the videos that he was either the cinematographer or the director for. That's the one that's on Vimeo because of the sound issues. Then we have some presentations. We have more presentations, so 8 presentations. And I want to give a shout out to Miss India, who posted this on Twitter. And she posted, every time I listen to a horny pony and think about its go-go roots, I reach back to Harold Pride's presentation on the Get Off Maxi single, discussing Prince's relationship with the culture, as well as hip hop in depth. For my DMV folks, which I only learned about 4 or 5 years ago, that means the DC, Maryland area, this one is definitely for you. And so if you click on the tweet, it'll go directly to the tweet on Twitter. And then if you click on the image, it'll go to Harold's talk on YouTube. And then there are some roundtables. And then there was some commentary by Darlene Nisi, who live tweeted the entire time, which was incredible. And then some follow-up commentary from Erica Thompson. So where are we going next week? We are going to be at week 36 of What Did Prince Do This Week? And we're going to be reading pages 154 to 162. I hope you enjoyed. And Troy's here representing the DMV. And yeah, we might be able to make it happen. So I'll think about that. Only because it's just, I've already asked a lot of people. It just depends. Oh, thank you. That's so kind of you. But I really that's very kind of you. But that's okay. I'll work it out. Thank you, Love Sexy. We love the long version of the WDPDTW shows. Thank you for hanging out. I know a lot of people don't like long form content. I'm a long former, so I know you all are long formers too, or you wouldn't still be here 2.5 hours later. But this is what we're going to be doing next week. And Michael Dean, if you want to take us out.
Well, let me just say,
work it like a job. We'll see you next time. Peace.
All right.
Peace.